Very good morning everyone. Okay, so this video I will explain on how to find the inverse matrix by using the Gauss-Jordan method. Okay, so when we want to use Gauss-Jordan method and find the inverse matrix, it only works for a square matrix, which is 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4 and so on. But for our syllabus, when we want to solve an inverse matrix for using the Gauss-Jordan method, we will use for 3 times 3 matrix only. Okay, and then in order for us to apply or to use the Gauss-Jordan method, we have to use elementary row operation. So when you apply this rule, you need to apply to the whole row. So what rule that you have to apply? We have 3, which is the first one is multiplying a row by a non-zero constant. Okay, so for this one, we have CRI. So I give you an example. If you want to use this, C is actually a non-zero constant. This C, by right, you cannot use the constant equal to 0. Other than that, you can use, let's say I give you 5, multiply with the first row, 5, R1. Or let's say you want to use a 1 over 4, multiply with row 2, also can. Or you want to use negative 2, multiply with row 3, also can. So it depends on the needs, no? Okay, and then usually we use this rule, multiply a row by a non-zero constant, when you want to change a value to 1. Okay, and then the next one we have interchanging and swapping any two rows. So let's say row 1 you want to change with row 3. So we have Ri interchange or swap with another row. Ri swap with row Rk. Okay, so let's say you want to change row 1 with row 3. Then you write like this. Or if you want to change row 2 swap with row 3, then you change like this. Okay, you must have the arrow that has both sides. Okay, and then the next one we have adding a multiple of one row to another row. So this one, so we have Ri plus with CRK. So by right, Ri is the row that we want to change. Then you have to multiply with a constant. Plus with a constant that multiply with a value from another row. Okay, so I give you an example here. Let's say row 1 is the row that you want to change, and then you have to plus with a constant multiply from another row, let's say row 3. Or you want to change row 2, and you multiply with plus with 2 multiply with R1, like that. So it depends on the situation, and then you're gonna see how later. Okay, and then for the third row, for the third rule, we use it to change to 0. Change value to 0. You can use to change to another value as well when you think that it is suitable, but to make it efficient, so you just simply memorize that the first rule here is for you to change to number 1. The third rule, you change to value 0. Why? Because here, when we want to solve Gauss-Jordan, so basically what you have to do is, the first step, you copy the 3 times 3 matrix here. You copy, and then in the middle, you write a straight line like this. And then next to it, you write identity matrix. You know what is identity matrix, right? 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, then what you're going to do here is you're going to apply all the 3 rules where it is suitable. Okay, and then your main goal right now is to change this side. After you apply all those rules, you're going to change it to identity matrix, right? You're going to change it to 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. After you manage to change the left side here as identity matrix, the answer that you get on this side will become the inverse matrix. Okay, the solution lah. Alright, so we're going to start from here. Okay, so after you've done this one, so usually what I will do is I will solve it column by column. Why? It is easier for you to solve like that. So solve it column by column. You settle this column first, then you settle the next column, then settle the next column. Okay, so how to settle the next column? So by right, this guy, you're going to change it to 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Sorry. You settle 0, 1, 0, 0. After that, settle the first column, you go to the second column. This one, change the middle one, become 1 first. And then you change this to 0, 0. And then the next column, you change this to 1 first. And then 0, 0. Like that. Okay. So we follow the step here. Now we proceed first, the first one where we will change the first column to 1, 0, 0. Now if you check here, this is already 1. Then no need to change for us right now because it's already value 1. So now we go to the next one, which is number 2 here. We have to change to 0. 2 we have to change to 0, right? So in order for us to change 2 to 0, in order for us to change 2 to 0, okay, we have to see the rules that we have here. Which is to change to 0, we have to use the third rule, okay, which is Ri plus CRK. Easier for you to understand. If you see number 2 here, right? So 2 plus with what? You're going to get equal to 0. It is negative 2, right? So this negative 2, because our formula just now is Ri plus CRK, by right, you have to multiply negative 2 with something that you can get equal to 0, which is 1. So where to get this one? 1 is coming from row number 1 here. Row 1. So here, by right, this 2 is coming from row 2. Plus minus 2 is our constant, become negative 2. 1 is coming from row 1. So this is your first rule that you have to apply into row number 2. Okay. So now we proceed to apply one by one. Okay, now we proceed. So since here we just want to change only for row 2. Row 1 and row 3 we will not touch at all. So you can copy the value from row 1 and row 2 together. So you copy 1, 1, 4, 3, 5, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. You copy like this. Okay. After that, the next rule here. Okay, we are. Better I write this one first. Okay, so now we proceed to the calculation, yeah. Okay, so R2 minus 2R1. So we will apply this rule for in each of the element here, one by one. Each of the element we will apply the rule R2 minus 2R1. Okay, the first one we have, which is 2 from R2, should minus with 2, multiply with R1. R1, you have to go to the same column for the row number 1, which is 1. We have equal to 0. Okay, and then is equal to 0, right? Then you put here equal to 0. Now you go to the next one. You have 3. Then here you put 3 minus with 2, the constant, multiply with R1, you go on top, multiply with 1. So you're going to get equal to 1. Then you put here 1. The next one you have 4 minus with constant 2, multiply with R1, which is on top, which is we have 4 here, equal to negative 4. Then you put negative 4 here. Then the next one we also have to do, have 0 minus with 2, the constant, multiply with R1, which is on top, 1, equal to negative 2. Then you put negative 2 here. The next one you have 1 minus with 2, okay, multiply with R1, which is the one that is on top, which is 0. Then here you're going to get equal to 1. Then you put 1 here. The next one you have 0, okay, minus with 2, multiply with R1, which is also 0, which is equal to 0. Here you get 0. So settle for the first step that we have to do, which is we already changed this guy into 0. Okay. Now we go to the next one where we have to change 1 0 0, right? By right 3 we also have to change to 0. So remember, if we want to change to 0, we have to go through the third rule, because third rule involve changing value to 0. So if you see, it involves plus, right? Addition. So 3, you have to think plus with what? You get equal to 0. 3 plus with negative 3. Multiply with 1. So which value of 1 coming from? From row 1. So 3 is coming from row 3. Plus minus 3 is negative 3, which is our constant right now. 1 is coming from row 1. Like that. Okay. So now we will change the row number 3. So what you have to do is copy row number 1 and row number 2. So I copy row number 1 and number 2 first. Okay, now after you copy this, okay, so we'll proceed to apply the rule here. Okay, to apply the rules that we have here into our the third row. Okay, now we proceed to one by one here. Okay, the first one, R3, which is we have value 3. Okay, multiply with, minus with constant 3, multiply with R1, R1 coming from on top. Then you're going to get equal to 0, then you put 0 here. The next one, you have 5. Okay, minus with 3, multiply with R1 on top. Multiply with 1 also, you're going to get equal to 2. So you put 2 here. The next one, you have 1 minus with 3, multiply with row 1, the value from on top, which is 4. So here you're going to get negative 11. So you put negative 11. The next one you have, okay, 0 minus with 3, multiply with R1, which is you have 1. You're going to get negative 3. Then you put negative 3 here. The next one you have 0 minus with 3, multiply with R1, which is you have 0. You're going to get equal to 0. Then you put 0 here. The next one you have 1 multiply with 3, minus with 3, multiply with 0, which is from R1. No? The answer is 1. Then you put 1 here. So you're done for this part. So if you check, your first row here is already been changed to 1 0 0. So settle the first row. Now, the next one that we have to go is to the second row, which is here. What we have to change is, the first step, you have to change it to 1. After that, you change to 0 and then change to 0. Why? It's easier for you to solve. So it's up to you whether you want to use your own method. Also can if you don't want to follow my step here. But it is efficient if you do it like this. Okay. So now, we will check first for this one, which we gonna change the value for this one to 1, right? But no need lah, because the center already value 1, so we don't need to change it to 1 anymore. We have to change this one to 0 first. So this is coming from row 1, right? So since we want to change 1 to 0, we have to use the formula that has addition. So 1 plus with what? You get equal to 0. 1 plus with negative 1. So by right, 1 minus 1 law. Okay, 1 minus 1. So 1 minus 1 means that we can use row 1 is the value that we want to change, minus with row 2, because inside row 2 we have the value 1. So this is our next rule that we can apply into this step. Okay, now since we want to change only row 1, okay, you can copy row 2 and row 3. Okay, now we proceed, after you copy row 2 and row 3, now we proceed to apply the formula R1 minus R2 in this step. So right now R1 minus R2, so we have 1 minus with R2, which is 0. So minus with 0 equal to 1, then you put 1 here. The next one, R1 1 minus with R2, which is also 1, equal to 0. Then you put 0 here. The next one, 4 minus with negative 4. Then you're going to get equal to 8. The next one, sorry, you put 8 here. The next one, we have 1 minus with R2, which is negative 2. Here you're going to get 3. Then you put 3. The next one, you have 0 minus with R2, which is 1, which you're going to get negative 1. You put negative 1 here. 0 minus with 0, which you're going to get 0. Then you put 0. Then settle for the this step, which is we already changed this guy into 0. Okay. So now, next step, if we see here, the one that we have to change right now is 2. This 2 we have to change to 0. So, if you want to change 2 to 0, we have to use addition, which is 2 plus with what? You're going to get equal to 0. 2 plus with negative 2 multiply with 1, right? So, this 2 coming from row number 3 plus minus 2 become negative 2, which is our C, the constant. 1 here coming from row number 2. So, this is the next formula that you can apply. Okay, the next rule you can apply to this step. So now, since we want to change only row 3, then row 1 and row 2 we will not touch. So you can copy row 1 and row 2 first. Okay, so after you copy, then we apply one by one, yeah? So from row 3, okay, which is 0, minus with 2, the constant multiply with R2. Where is R2? On top, which is 0. So the answer is 0. And you put 0 here. The next one, you have 2 minus with the constant 2 multiply with R2, which is 1. Then the answer is 0. Then the next one, you have negative 11. Okay. So negative 11 minus with 2 multiply with R2, which is negative 4. When you calculate this one, you're going to get equal to negative 3. Then you put negative 3 here. Okay, the next one, you have negative 3 negative 3 minus with 2 multiply with R2, which is you have negative 2 here. So the answer is equal to 1. You put 1. The next one, you have 0 minus with 2 multiply with R2, which is 1. Then you're going to get negative 2. Then you put negative 2 here. The next one, you have 1 minus with 2 multiply with R2, which is 0. Then you're going to get equal to 1. Then you put 1 here. So you're done for this part. Okay, so if you see, the second column already settled, where you already changed it to 0, 1, 0. Now we proceed to the third column, where you have to change this guy into, you have to change this guy into 0, 0, 1. But remember, the first thing you have to make sure is inside that column, you must change the value that's supposed to be 1, change to 1 first. By right, this negative 3, you have to change to 1 first. After that, you can change 0 and then 0. Okay, why? Because this is efficient for you to solve. Okay, so now we proceed to the next one, where we will change negative 3 to 1. If you want to change negative to 1, what formula we have to use? What rule we have to use? If you want to change to 1, we have to use the first formula here, which is this guy, CRI. So from here, we have to think. When we have CRI, okay, by right, the negative 3, this value must be multiplied with something, then you get equal to 1. So in order to make negative 3 into 1, we have to multiply this with negative 1 over 3. So negative 1 over 3 multiply with negative 3, you're going to get equal to 1, right? So by right, from this one, the next rule that you can apply to this step is negative 1 over 3 multiply with row 3. So we will apply to row 3 only. So row 1 and row 2, we will not apply. So that's why here you have to copy first row 1 and row 2. Okay, now we will apply one by one, yeah, to each of the rules that we have. Okay, so here the first one we have 0. So negative 1 over 3 multiply with 0, then you're going to get equal to 0. Then you put 0 here. The next one you have 0. So negative 1 over 3 multiply with 0, you get equal to 0. Put 0 here. The next one, we have negative 3. So negative 1 over 3 multiply with negative 3, the answer is equal to 1. Then you put 1 here. Okay, the next one you have 1. 1 multiply with, negative 1 over 3 multiply with 1. Then you're going to get negative 1 over 3. So here you put negative 1 over 3. The next one you have negative 2. So negative 1 over 3 multiply with negative 2. The answer is negative 2 over 3. Then you put here negative 2 over 3. The next one you have 1. So negative 1 over 3 multiply with 1. The answer is negative 1 over 3. Then here become negative 1 over 3. Then settle for this part. You change to 1 already, this value. Okay, so we proceed to the next one where we can change this value of 8 to 0. So now, remember, if value 8, if we want to change to 0, we have to plus with something. So 8 plus with what? We get equal to 0. 8 plus negative 8 multiply with 1. So this 8 coming from row 1. Plus minus 8 become a constant negative 8. This value 1 coming from row number 3. Like that. Okay. So here we will change the value from inside the row 1. So row 2 and row 3 we won't change. So right now you can copy row 2 and row 3 as usual. Okay, once you copy row number 2 and row 3, we will apply to row 1 right now. So we have row 1, which is number 1, minus with 8 multiply with R3, which is 0, equal to 1. Then you put 1 here. Then the next one we have 0 minus with 8 multiply with R3, which is 0, equal to 0. Then you put 0 here. The next one you have 8 minus with 8 multiply with R3, which is 1. You're going to get equal to 0. Then you put 0 here. The next one you have 3 minus with 8 multiply with row 3, which is negative 1 over 3, and then you use calculator law, this one, which you're going to get equal to 17 over 3. Then you put 17 over 3. The next one you have negative 1 minus with 8 multiply with R3, which is negative 2 over 3. The answer is equal to negative 19 over 3. The next one you have 0 minus with 8 multiply with row 3, which is negative 1 over 3. So the answer is 8 over 3. Like that. So you settle for this one. It's already changed to 0. Okay. So the next one here, you have to settle this value negative 4. You have to change this to 0. So now, negative 4 plus with what? You're going to get equal to 0. Plus with 4, right? Multiply with 1 as well. You have to remember, for rule number 3, you have to multiply with 1. Why? It is efficient for you to do so. Okay, so negative 4 coming from row number 2. Okay, plus with 4 the constants. 1 is actually coming from row 3. So this is your next rule that you have to apply into row number 2, which is R2 plus 4R3. Okay, so now we have to change only row 2, right? Row 1 and row 3 we don't want to change. Then you have to just copy first row 1 and row 3. Okay, now proceed, yeah. So we have R2 equal to 0 plus with 4 multiply with R3, which is 0. The answer is equal to 0. We have 1 plus with 4 multiply with R3, which is 0. So the answer is equal to 1. We have negative 4 plus with 4 multiply with R3, which is 1. So here you're going to get equal to 0. You put 0 here. Now the next one we have negative 2 plus with 4 multiply with R3, which is negative 1 over 3. Then you will get the answer equal to negative 10 over 3. The next one you have 1 plus with 4 multiply with R3, which is negative 2 over 3. The answer is equal to 11 over 3. The next one you have 0 plus with 4 multiply with R3, which is negative 1 over 3. So the answer is negative 4 over 3. Now from here, if you see, right, these guys already changed to identity, which is 100, 010, 001. So by right, you done already. And then this guys is your inverse matrix right now. This is the answer. So let's say if the matrix that they given to you, they ask you the answer, the inverse matrix. Okay, you can just write this as your answer. You just copy lah. Yeah. Just copy. Can put, if they ask lah, if they give you the name of the matrix. If they don't give you, then you can just copy, simply copy the matrix that you have, which is 17 over 3. Okay. And then negative 19 over 3, 8 over 3, negative 10 over 3, 11 over 3, negative 4 over 3, negative 1 over 3, and then you have 2 over 3, and then you have negative 1 over 3. So this is your answer. You can write like this, or you can just maintain like this also. Or here, if you want to factorize the factor that we have here, if you see we have over 3, right? By right, all of the value element inside this matrix is divided by 3. So you can factorize, bring 1 over 3 outside. And then you put 17, negative 19, 8, negative 10, 11, negative 4, negative 1, 2, and negative 1. Right, like this also can. So you done lor for the inverse matrix. So that's it for inverse matrix. Thank you for listening.